You know, sometimes if I lose the fly, I just I don't want the fish to disturb my casting. And you know what it's like. It just feels so good. It's just out there, you know, and that's why people write books about it. We have casting instructors here. How many of you are certified casters? Look at that. Now those are some crazy people. But what they've done is they've studied, they took a test. Some of you took tests this weekend. FFF has a board of governors of casting instructors. Well, think about it. In fishing, one of the hardest things with fly fishing to do is to cast, right? Because if you don't know what fly to use, you can get that information from the fly shop, or you can get a guide that tells you where to cast. But cast is a problem. So you got a headwind right now, and you're trying to cast, and if your loop looks bad, cut it. And I'd say, if I could invent a pill to help your casting, and it could only do one thing for you, that pill would help you with the snap. How to put the snap or the speed in your cast. Because there are some fundamentals in casting that are easy to remember. One of them is, when I throw a short distance, I use a short stroke. And as I lengthen, my stroke lengthens, so that when I throw a long distance, I use a long stroke. That one's easy, right? Makes sense, right? If you were throwing a spinning rod and you had to throw there, you wouldn't go whoosh, right? You go flick, and as you throw farther, you flick farther. That's just common sense. It's easy to think about. It's nothing crazy. One of the other things that we teach in casting is that at the end of each stroke, you have to stop the rod. Like a little metronome. Pick, stop. Yeah, dead stop. I'm stopping in front and back. So, that one's weird. Because you snap really hard and then you come to a dead stop. And there's no, we were thinking about this the other day. Can any of you think of a sport where you accelerate really fast and then come to a dead stop? No follow through. Imagine a golfer stopping, or a tennis player, or about a baseball pitcher going, swing. But here, I'm stopping dead. Dead stop. There's some other rules, like you gotta wait for that thing to straighten out behind you. Well, the sound barrier, that's actually 95 cents. There's some rules there's some ways to avoid that. If you're still going back and forward, that's watch the line straighten out. It's easy to see where I stop in front, let the line straighten out. You can tell the angle that I'm coming at. But one thing that you can't see very well is how I snap, how I power. Watch. Here's a good one. Just watch my hand. Here's a good one. Here's a bad one. Here's a good one. Here's a bad one. When I say good and bad one, the bad one makes a tangle. See the difference there? I can't. I'm standing pretty close. What happens is it'd be like watching a professional golfer. These shoes really different. And it'll be like, okay, I'm gonna come in at a full swing, and right at impact, gonna kind of let my wrist come through. Okay, now watch this one. I'm gonna change it. Okay, you say. Some things you can't be sure of. When you do that snap at the end of the stroke, the loop won't tangle, it'll cut through the wind. Okay. So I snap too soon, get a big tangle. If I wait till the end of the stroke to snap, I do better. So if I could invent a casting pill, it would help you with power application, or the speed of the cast, or the slinging it. I grew up, I used to be a bait fisherman. And he'd sit there at night, brew this dough ball formula. It was so cool. He'd take tapioca pudding and cornmeal, and we'd lean over the counter, we'd spread cotton balls out, he'd knead it into dough, and then he'd pull out the secret stuff. It was usually sesame oil or something like that. But then he'd take us fishing in the mornings if I was waking up early enough. So imagine I got a dough ball on the end of this. I have it hanging behind me. I'm going to try and cast it out in the middle of the river. All right? 6 years old, here I go. 1, 2. Where's the dough ball?
Behind you.
I hit it too soon. Okay? So good bait fishermen don't make fun for bait fishermen. So to make a good dough ball cast, you go and kind of flick it at the end. You see how that would stay on the stick? We invent every possible description as a casting instructor to help people with that. I'm going to give you one more description, and then I'm going to tell you the ultimate way to learn power application. There's a very famous Montana shop owner and author named Mike Lawson. Mike Lawson grew up in Idaho and didn't have any money, so their idea of kicks as a 14-year-old kid in Idaho is to get along the side of the freeway with a sack of old potatoes and these 10 or 15-foot long sticks that they've whittled sharp. So they would take a potato and stick it on the end of a big old soft willow stick and stand where there's no freeway off-ramp, and they would stick a potato on there and wait for the trucks to come by. See a bunch of 8 kids up on a bluff somewhere 100 yards away from the freeway from here to that fence. It's like, here comes one, ready, stick a potato on, get set, boom. And when you smoothly accelerate a stick with a potato on it and stop good, guess where it goes? Clap, and then they duck behind the thing. Nobody ever got caught. Mike is one of the smoothest casters you ever met because he has that ability to flick it at the end. So, are you guys feeling this? Can you visualize that? Can you see that bait flicking and the potato flicking? This one takes the cake, though. My friend Tony Vitale, he's on the board of governors for casting instructor nerds, and he lines people up and gives you a paintbrush and a bucket of water. He says, okay, stick your paintbrush in the water and come forward and flick the water off the paintbrush. Your goal is to flick all the water straight ahead. Okay? So you dip your paintbrush in the bucket of water. What happens if I snap too soon? Sprayed up in the air, right? If I had hair, I'd dip it in there and I'd do that girl commercial, like flash dance. Too soon with the sweep. You need to get here